Okay, hey, good morning, everyone, or hello, everyone. Some of you guys are in the afternoon. Um, I have COVID, so hopefully you don't have COVID. If you do have COVID and you're watching this at home, I'm sorry. um, so I hope you guys got tested. If you do feel like you have like some nasal congestion, like for me, it's like snotty nose, watery eyes, coughing. So I got stuffy nose, stuffy head now. Now it's gone to headache and body aches. So, but I have no fever and none of the other signs. There is the cough. So, but that's mostly because of the stuff in the nose. So anyway, that's why I don't look so well, and that's why you guys are getting this video. All right. We are going to take notes. So these notes will also be for you in your Google Classroom. But I would like you, if you have your notebook available, you can go grab it from the side, one of the boxes, and uh, find your notebook and write your notes. Or you can just take out a sheet of paper and take these notes, or you can take these notes later. You do need to watch this. Hopefully you're watching this on Edpuzzle, and you will understand why, because we'll go over the Kahoot later on tomorrow. So persuasive appeal notes. You can see here, here's the, over here, there's the Quizlet set. I want you to finish match today, okay? So I've got this, so this is your goals for today. So you should have finished the pretest last Tuesday. And then we're going on to this Edpuzzle that will be clickable. And you already know that because you clicked on it, and here you are. Then you finish Quizlet Match, and then Quizlet Learn, and then you're done for the day. Okay, so notes, match, learn, and then done. If you don't finish Learn today, that's fine. Learn can be finished tomorrow, and there'll be another lesson. All right, so persuade. So when we try to persuade someone, we are trying to convince someone um, of something, right? So basically, I want to persuade you to do something. I want to talk to you, talk with someone so that he or she will agree with you, right? So that's the main idea for to be persuade. Persuasive appeals are three different ways to persuade, right? So three different ways to persuade, and an appeal is to be attractive or interesting. This is sex appeal, obviously. There's a lot of sex appeal in this picture. It's appealing to your sexual drive. But persuasive appeals is how someone convinces another person by using these three appeals. So three different ways to persuade, and we're going to go over these three ways. So here's your three different ways. The three ways are ethos, and they're Greek words: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos here means, like you can see here in the picture, credibility or trust. Let's just say trust or authority, meaning someone's super smart, or someone is super talented, or you trust that person. Okay, and I'm going to give you some examples of that. Pathos then has to do with your emotions. Oh, that one's new for me. Imagination as well. And logos is going to be your reason or logic. So those are the three ways to categorize these persuasive appeals. We're going to call them ethos, pathos, and logos. Okay, so that's your definitions. I'm going to put them on separate lines so that you guys can see that. And then we're going to go into each of them and break down on how we do each of them. So ethos, you can see her in this picture. Trust me, I'm a doctor. So you should trust him because he's a doctor. He knows about your health. So, that's the idea of an ethos. person's character or authority, right? Um, one of those ways is thinking about someone who's reliable or respected, right? So the example is Obama, right? He is an authority. So someone who is a respected person of knowledge. You guys trust me, hopefully, to teach you English, right? So that's kind of my hope. Now I'll put the webcam back on. So hopefully you trust me. All right. So we trust maybe Obama. On some people would prefer not to trust Obama, and that's why they put Trump everywhere, right? So, but you guys, talking to you guys, that would be Obama, right? Testimony. So, like here, a testimony equal is information. So someone's personal experience. Okay, so, or in this case, information from the experts, but actually I don't like that so much. So it's ideally information from the experts, but in this case, who's my expert here? It's Justin Bieber. And this is not today's old Justin Bieber. This is like teeny bopper Justin Bieber. And so because teeny bopper Justin Bieber had zits, so proactive should work for him, right? And here, check out his video. That's his testimony of how proactive helped clear up his complexion, and so he doesn't have zits. An anecdote is someone's story. So an anecdote, okay, so this would be a testimony is an authority's personal experience versus an anecdote is just anyone's story about an event. When we say an incident, that's an event or person. So an anecdote here, and you could see here that this newspaper or this magazine said, "Heaven's real. Here's a doctor's experience of an afterlife." So not only do you have a doctor, he's an authority, but it's his anecdote. It's his story about how he died, he saw heaven, and he came back to life. So also in Ethos is a quote. And usually, you guys all know quotes are nice things that are said, specific words said by a person, right? And here we've got Dr. King's quote, right? Everything that we see is a shadow cast by that which we do not see. So that's his quote. Maybe might not be a quote that is recognizable by most of you guys, but it's a quote nevertheless. There are some other quotes that maybe you guys might recognize. I don't know. You guys, we can come up with some of those quotes. An allusion here is a reference to a well-known work. Like when we say work, it could be like a song, story, movie, anything like that. I can't really think of anything right now, but the idea of oh, he's no Romeo, meaning like, oh, he's not Romeo from Romeo and Juliet. He's When we talk about Romeo, you think about someone who's a lover, right? So that's what we're talking about. It's easy to say Romeo and be like, oh, well, he's the dude who fell in love with blank. Do you guys know? Hopefully you guys remember from last year, Juliet, right? All right. Pathos. So all of these are under ethos, right? Either authority, testimony, anecdote, quote, allusion. Okay. So those are the 5 under ethos. Here's some under pathos, which is appeal to emotion. So we've got a little emoticons there. Diction. It's your word choice. How you say things makes a whole mess of difference, right? How we talk about things, what words we say, our word choice, and how we say things makes a big difference. Like, so for example, here's your example here. this is a cat woman and this is a cat lady, you automatically have this idea that maybe, oh, that's a cat person. Okay, cat person. Is that a cat woman? Like, wow, sexy, versus cat lady, like the old woman who is alone and just has her cats. And, so the word choice matters. Both of them are female. If I said cat female, I'm like, whatever. But if I say cat woman versus cat lady, the word choice matters, right? And we can come up with some more examples of that when I come back to school on Friday, hopefully. Connotation or connotate. I'm going to do connotation. Now, this one you guys do a lot. It's when you kind of hint at something and you don't really have that meaning, you kind of hint at it. So meaning is hinted at. Okay, so it's not exactly the words that you're saying. Okay, so it's not said, but it's hinted at. Can be positive, can be negative. If it says, like, here's Spider-Man, he's saying you're a dog. Okay, so like either ew, you're a dog, like you're gross, or yo, you a dog, right? Like, good on you. Like, so there's different ways of saying it. If it's a dude saying it to another dude and you're like, hey, what up, dog, like that's like, hey, what up, homie, right? Versus like, ew, you're a dog, like, ew, you're gross. So I don't know if people say that or not anymore. The other thing is tone, like the emotion, the attitude or the emotion that's in our voice, right? So I can say the exact same thing, but it can be harsh, or it could be any one of those six emotions that we said. It could be happy, sad, angry, scared, happy, excited, tender, right? Like how I say it will really depend on tone. So it'll give emphasis for the words I'm giving. For example, you did your homework. You did your homework. You did your homework, right? Three different ways of saying you did your homework. You did your homework, but all different tones, all different emotions. One was like, "Oh, I hope you did your homework," right? Versus, "I don't think you did your homework." You're like, "You did it? No, Versus, like, "Yay, hooray!" Right? So three or four different emotions, right? Repetition. Okay, and I think you guys know repetition, but we use repetition in speech in order to make emphasis, right? So repeated words to emphasize a point. Like, how many times did I say, for SAT, do not have your digital device on you? Do not have your digital device on you. No way should you have any digital device on your person, right? I repeated that so many times for emphasis. You guys get that. There's repetition, exaggeration, and hyperbole. Again, exaggeration just overstates the truth, throwing it a little bit bigger. So making a description a little bigger than it is, right? Stretching the truth. Versus hyperbole. And this is where we get in a lot of trouble. The hyperbole, when we always say, oh my gosh, you're always on your cell phone. You're always on your cell phone. I mean, like, you're like, am I really always on my cell phone? See, look, I put it down. I'm not really always on my cell phone. Right? So this is where the hyperbole gets people into trouble. there's exaggeration that's in there, but then the hyperbole people really get offended by, right? So we can really push people's buttons by like, I'm a really never doing it. So rhetorical question is another way of it's a question that really doesn't require an answer. It's supposed to be obvious. Like, you did what? Are you for real? Like, we already know. You're like, no. So that's rhetorical question. Answer is so obvious that it makes the listener feel something. Like, the question is so obvious that, like, why even ask the question? um you know um Trump would use a lot of rhetorical questions. He wouldn't give answers, but he would give a lot of rhetorical questions, and everyone would be like, "Yay!" Because the people that he's talking to are like, "Yeah, and what do you think about those immigrants?" Like, and everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah." But he never really tells you what he does really think about those immigrants. Like, he'll say, "Well, I don't know, but maybe, I don't know. Um, it could be like," and then he's trying to make a lot of inferences. He's doing that connotation. He's hinting at things, but he also gives rhetorical questions, and everyone kind of claps for him. Okay, so. And then there's satirize. Satirize means we're going to make fun of something. And that's what Mr. Cheng does a lot with Mr. Trump. Okay. So with President Trump. Satirize is, okay. And I don't know if you guys ever seen this girl, this meme, but this is a dated meme. So catch me outside. How about that? So just about some weird girl who thinks she's all that. She's like a teenager and she's got attitude, and it's just she's a ridiculous person, but she's just so like overblown, like attitude and real. It's like she really believes about that, about herself. So if you get a chance to find this meme or find this person, I might change some of these pictures later on after we talk in class. So catch me outside. How about that? Logos. Again, that's going to be logic. So we can use our scientific method. We're always going to use some sort of evidence. These are going to be facts. Facts. They cannot be argued. Like, they can't be argued much. Like, you can talk about people, like, how did they measure it, but you can't really argue about a number. Like, are there really 7 people? Yes, I can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 people, right? That I can't really argue about that. So the evidence really can't be argued. They're facts. Okay, data is a similar one. So if I said one datum is 1 point versus many data points, okay? So that's the way to use that. So data is a plural word, okay? So equals numbers, facts, and figures organized. Okay, so that's data. So statistics, again, more numbers. Another word for numbers. Jargon. Jargon is our special vocabulary. Okay, so those are the special vocabulary words that have to do with a certain field. Okay. So like, for example, when we're talking about YouTube, we were saying like some words that are jargony are subscribe, channel, hit the bell, notifications. Those are all jargon. Global warming would be another one. Global warming, climate change, glaciers receding, like those would all be words that, temperature. Those are some words that we would talk about with global warming. Um, all different types of jargon for whatever you're using. Snapchat has their jargon, right? What did you guys call it? The that thing where you keep clicking and you get a score for taking weird pictures. I don't know. Everything has its own jargon, right? Among Us has its jargon. Imposter, sus, the vent, all those different words. Those are all jargon. And then we've got contrast. So contrast is just showing difference. We want to, but then juxtapose is contrasting, but maybe you might not even talk about um, what the contrast is. We're just going to put the two things next to each other to emphasize the contrasts. So here, if I juxtapose and look at these two posters, it's like, wait, this this business is now hiring, but they're going out of business. What's with that? Like, I don't understand. How can they be hiring if they're going out of business? So that's kind of the juxtaposition. It shows, okay, they're both having to do with business. What's similar? They're both, but if they're going out of business, how can they hire people, right? So, and your job's not going to last that long. So that's it. That's your under Ethos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under Pathos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And under Logos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Go through and play match a couple times, and then you can work on learn. We'll do write and spell later this week. I'll see you guys Friday. You'll see I have another video for Tuesday.